Overall, a very good effort. The second quarter was not a good quarter for us, but the third was tremendous, and then in the fourth we were able to do what we had to do to get through it. So proud of the guys, great crowd. Crowd finally got going in the third quarter when we played at a level to get them going, which was great to see, and that was probably the key to the game.
Scored 47 in the third, and Tyrese just talked about him personally adjusting in the second half. What did you see as the keys to kind of turning your fortunes from the first half to the second half and getting going?
Well, the first couple possessions of the third quarter were big. Aaron got the steal. We scored, and then Aaron got the steal. I think we scored, got a stop. Aaron got the steal. And then, then the building came alive, and from there we lifted our level of intensity, and it made a huge difference in the game.
You had 7 guys between 10 and 16 points today. I mean, was it something about the way they were defending you that allowed the ball to move so well? Why do you think it was such a good spread out effort from your team?
We've had 8 guys averaging double figures all year, so that's really how we're built. We have great people that are really starting to understand the personal sacrifices that need to be made to have a successful team. For instance, tonight, Buddy only played 13 minutes, but he was real efficient. He was +1 when he's on the floor, and he was pulling for his teammates the whole time. So, there are certain things about NBA season that are very challenging when it comes to minutes and roles and all those kinds of things. But the quality of people in our locker room makes a big difference for us.
The Bucks obviously won a championship very recently and are a great team, but they really were tough for this franchise for the last 4 or 5 years, and then this year to go 4-1 against them. I mean, does that say something about the growth of this team to you? What do you feel like you guys did so much better against them than in years past?
Well, between my first year here and my second year here, the team improved, added more pieces, got a clear direction. Between year 2 and this year, we've improved some more with experience and adding Bruce and adding Obi, and so we're just really working at raising our level. You can't skip steps. So much of being a successful team are the sacrifices that I just talked about, and we've just all got to be aware, and we've all got to be empathetic to how difficult some of those things can be. But with the ultimate goal of being a playoff team, they're essential to our success.
Obviously, this particular experience is unique at this point. Obviously, you played these guys 5 times. It's not a thing that happened before.
Feels like we should play them again on Friday.
Right. I mean, is there? I guess kind of to that point. I mean, it certainly doesn't exactly mimic, a playoff, but there's some similarities to all that. I mean, what do you feel like you've learned about these guys or do you feel like you guys have learned about yourselves that's applicable and important going forward? I guess just having had kind of the punch and counterpunch of this series in a relatively packed period.
Yeah, there's never, in the history of this league's never been a series like this one because there was no in-season tournament thrown in the middle of it. In a neutral venue with stage lighting, it just is so different out there. But Milwaukee's a great team. We had some good fortune in the games. They're hard games. They're all hard games. And we're just looking to get better. We're just looking to get better, and we're trying to stay in the present, in the moment, and really support each other. So that's where it's at.
No, you guys did some of this on Monday, but it seemed like the 3-man wall kind of technique you guys had against Giannis was really effective. He only takes 13 shots. I mean, how did you I don't think the word has come up with it. I imagine that someone else has done it before. But what did you like about that strategy, and how do you feel like you guys were just good at implementing it?
You just got to make it as hard as possible on great players. You know, I mean, the first 3 games, the guy averaged 51.6 points. You know, and so, you know, we'd set ourselves up for most improved at that point, really defensively on him. You know, and look, there's no other way. You can't allow him to play one-on-one, and you can't give him space. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. He scores in crowds, on double teams, on fadeaways, on wrong-footed shots. I mean, you know, the guy's a walking basket, and a walking and one, and a walking 3 in your face. You know, he's ridiculous. So, you know, we did a lot of things collectively to win the game tonight, and that's just who we are.
Just want to go back to one thing you mentioned, just about all the guys having to, you know, change roles and move around and everything. I guess we talk a lot about the depth in the bench, but is there also something, I guess, impressive about the fact that there's not been necessarily a unit? You frequently talk about a second unit, but there's been so much kind of moving in and out that guys have had to adjust to playing with different groups, you know, with different groups of guys. You know, how impressive is that, and what's made these guys good at it?
Well, it's like I said, it's the quality of the people in the locker room is exceptional. And, you know, with Drew getting healthier by the day, you know, when he becomes healthy, you know, we're going to have some real tough decisions. And the players know this is coming. As a staff, we just are going to need to communicate as well as we possibly can. And I talked to the guys today at our prep, you know, at 3:50 this afternoon out on the floor before we started, and just explained that, you know, there's going to be some lineup fluidity. There just is. And as much as I'd like to settle in to something comfortable for everyone, being comfortable is not good for us right now. You know, we got to stay edgy about everything. We got to stay edgy with Atlanta coming in here, you know. So there are many challenges, but, you know, being able to meet those challenges is what's fulfilling in this business. From the coaching side, but even the player side, you know, when guys that, you know, haven't tasted the playoffs before realize the kinds of things that it takes. It's they're special sacrifices, and so